My name is Jonathan Deguzman. I was born in Oakland, California in 1985. Grew up in Oakland probably, I believe, all the way through kindergarten. And then I moved to San Diego as my dad got stationed out here in San Diego for the first time. And then moved back to Oakland and attended, I believe it was the first semester of my sophomore year in high school. Obviously, the Bay Area and that area specifically, has, record crime rates and, really high poverty rates. So it's really easy for oneself to get in trouble. And, I guess you can say I started hanging around with the wrong people and had a rather rough upbringing. Did some things I guess I'm not necessarily proud of, and then, but luckily I moved away from that setting and back to San Diego. And while this was all happening, I guess this whole moving back and forth, not only was it because my dad was getting stationed, but my parents were getting a divorce. And so, maybe I was looking for some sort of outlet to express myself, and it was through sort of juvenile criminal activity. I got into a lot of trouble in high school. When I moved back in San Diego, I brought the sort of mindset and trouble that I had learned in the Bay Area to San Diego. During my most troublesome years, I got locked up in juvenile hall. Spent about a month in juvenile hall and then 2 months in Campo, so a total of 3 months in sort of the juvenile justice system, and a little bit after that for probation. And I guess that was sort of the big, wake-up call for me. My biggest accomplishment was probably the Collegiate Western Conference Championship weekend. I raced for San Diego State a couple years ago, and we competed against all the colleges in the Western Collegiate Conference. And we had a road race championship and a crit championship, as well as an omnium that was still up for grabs. And we won the road race, sealing the omnium, and the next day we won the crit championship. I suppose what made it the biggest accomplishment was not necessarily the prestige or the name, but rather that it was shared with everybody. We had every single team member on SDSU cycling there, as well as, I'm gonna say, their partners, whether it be their boyfriend or girlfriend, or even some dogs were there. That was shared with everybody, that made that whole season happen, and we had a ton of support from the community. I would say the biggest and most important thing about cycling and racing in particular is confidence. So, whether you have the ability to do something, it's sort of having the belief that you can do something, goes a long way. You figure half or more, as far as your peers go, that, your peers, when they're out there racing with you, are probably just as nervous as you are. And, that's gonna probably hinder their performance. And if you figure if you can do away with that with confidence, some people call it arrogance and cockiness, you'll probably be able to kind of race, naturally, or feel a little bit more comfortable than everyone else. My biggest cycling accomplishment, it's probably the people that cycling has brought me, the people that I've met, whether it be friends or even, I guess, even in in my professional setting, I've met a lot of people, and it's gotten me places and able to sort of pursue my passion as far as a career. And cycling's it's brought me awesome people. I've met a ton of great people from all walks of life, and I'd say that's my biggest accomplishment, for me at least. Probably my favorite part of cycling is the draft. There really isn't another sport where no matter your fitness level or no matter how you're feeling that day, there's ways of riding around that, and that's drafting, or cheating up a hill, doing what's called the fat man fade. You start ahead of the group and you end in the back. Individuals in a group, I guess, are so dependent on one another, where whether you're going fast in a race or you're talking about teams, racing as a team, that's got to be my favorite aspect. I mean, as far as being social, and cycling really exhibits that in a very raw physical aspect. You just can't get that in other sports. One thing that I really enjoy about cycling is what you can give back to cycling. Everybody in cycling, in some level, is looking to gain something. What I really enjoy about cycling is, being able to contribute in any way, whether pass on any knowledge that I have, help take a pull. In yes, it's surprising I do take a pull every now and then. Contribute to a club, your local club, off of that in very gratifying ways. And I'd say that's probably one thing that I enjoy about cycling most.